Yeah, it's working. Well, I want to welcome you to another exciting, riveting, suspense-filled episode of Chicken Farm, or Selling Appalachia. Yeah, every time I do a video, there's chickens in the background, but it is a chicken farm. So, yeah, where are we at? All over the place as usual. Several boat projects going, several building projects going for the boats, and then of course our fall harvest here. Grapes are in, a lot of the berries have been picked, cucumbers have been harvested. So anyway, it's not a farming channel. That'd be my brother's forte. Back to sailing. So in this episode, we pull the MacGregor out, the MacGregor 26S. Kind of getting past the dinghy sailing now and going towards some of the larger boats that we have in our inventory here. We love the dinghy sailing, don't get me wrong, and some dinghy cruising is coming very soon in our future. But we really need to get the MacGregor 26, and it is an S, water ballast, out on the water. So it doesn't need much. In fact, it looks almost brand new. But we did outfit it with a new Tohatsu 99. And then, of course, we're doing the usual mods that you'll hear MacGregor owners talk about doing. Everything from rear stern rail to a shelf for the gas tank to set on in the lazarette. Just stuff like that. The boats are amazing. Their design, I think, is one of the best out there. But they're very sterile looking inside and not real warm and cozy like you would expect a cruising boat to be, or would hope it would be. So we're going to work on that some too. So there'll be various projects along the way with the boat. I hope maybe you learned something from it. Feel free to comment so that I can learn something from you. Because, you know, I don't mind videoing when I screw up. But we'll put these videos out as we work on the MacGregor S. And again, Acrimony, we'll be back working on her, getting her ready for some 18th century reenacting events for next year. So, and then of course the big boat garage that will be our boat works. So that being said, the Hatteras trip went well. Love the Jester. I've decided not to sell it, S-E-L-L. We're going to keep it and retrofit the other one that we have, and just keep those as camping and sailing dinghies. Excuse me while I go choke a chicken. Should I have said that? Wring a chicken's neck? That's a little better. Anyway, so yeah, so bear with us. I hope the videos are getting a little better. And in this next video, we will install a stern rail. And I've got a video as well about the mast raising system with the 26S. I didn't want to fight raising a mast. I'm still young enough and strong enough, I can raise this mast by myself, as long as I have someone that connects the forestay. But Amanda and I decided that if we can't raise the mast single-handed using the mast raising systems, gin pole, and winch, then we'd probably start looking at another boat. So, we did. It worked fine. Love the system. And I want to end this intro video with thanks so much to Lee. And I'm going to kill that chicken. He's right there. Lee and Desiree for the gift of the 26S. They gifted it to us when they moved out of the country. I don't want to go into too many details. I don't want to invade their privacy. But I do want to thank them again so much. I think our family will really enjoy this boat. And I've enjoyed working on it immensely, what little I've done to it so far. Okay, so here comes the videos. Hey, all right. Okay, so oh, I see. Jan pole. I don't know if I've ever made a video where you couldn't hear a hen, aka chicken, in the background. So, but it is a farm, so bear with me. They're quite loud today. Okay, we're going to put a rear stern rail on. And we're using the area where the bimini was attached. Kind of as a guide, a reference to where I want to put the stern rail. So here's where the bimini was attached. What we'll do is, I've already ordered them, bimini attachments that are concave. Yeah, convex concave. That I'll screw into here, actually bolt onto there. So we'll raise this just a few inches up here for the bimini. But if I had to choose, I'd rather have a stern rail as a bimini because I can make a tent with the canvas I have over the cockpit using a boom if necessary. But the bimini would be nicer. So first things first, let's disconnect the drain hose. And we might replace it. It's got a little bit of age on it, but I need to get it out of there so I can reach the other side. If my fat butt will make it in there. For me, I'd have to say this is one of the deals of the year. Rear stern rail for the 26. Yeah, $50. Had to drive to Columbus to get it, but it was well worth it. And the guy was so cool. He came down from Toledo. I guess he wanted to do some gambling at the casino there in Columbus, so he met me halfway. $50 and $50 in gas. $100 isn't bad for a real stern rail, so let's see if we can mount it. And with any luck, this won't dump a bunch of water in my lap. But we'll see. Okay, so I'll take these loose and put them in the car. That way the next, yeah, see that one's already collapsing a little bit. So the next run I make to the box stores, they sell these reinforced with the wire in them, or string, cable, whatever you want to call it. So we'll replace it. I did the same thing to the other side. Put the old bimini screw back in the old bimini hole. So actually lines up pretty well. That's where I want the rear stern rail to go. Bent this one a little bit to make sure it was in the exact place that I wanted. And this one's pretty close too. So when I go to market with a Sharpie, I'll just bend them back out. Okay, yeah, time to start drilling holes. Yuck. I want to line it up, make sure it's in the same spot on both sides. So, looks like it shouldn't be a big deal. It's clearing everything. I can reach to all the bolts, so it should be good to go. With the rail in the center. Mark it. Dead center of the hole. I hate doing this. I hate drilling holes in a boat. But for the greater good. Those probably look a little too long since I'm only going through about that much material. steel land haul, but I'm going to use the backing plates that I've made. So, yeah, still probably overkill, but better overkill than to be too short and have to fight it. Go measure the other side. Love you too, son. Good luck. Have a good evening with it.
Yes. Are you recording right now? Why are you talking like that?
So this is the material we're using for the backing plate. I've taken the measurements, so we should be good to go. Again, I won't bore you with the details of cutting backing plate material, but this is pretty thick. It was a cutting board from Sam's Club, and mentioned that in one of the other videos. So if you get a moment, you might go back and look. I think it's in one of the shorts. Well, my boat was clean. Well, I guess with progress, you gotta take a few steps back. So, in my other life as a contortionist, like I said, I'm too fat. Been through some pretty tight caves in my time, though, so claustrophobic, not so much anymore, but okay. So bear with me, the camera in the hand. This is going to go right there. And then there was an old screw hole. I noticed that the light's coming through, no big deal. We will fill that with epoxy. So the plan is to line this up where I get the maximum bang for my buck. I'll duct tape it, mark it from the top, drill it, use thickened epoxy on the back side of it, put it up against the boat with the thickened epoxy, and then put two of the bolt holes, or two of the bolts through it with fender washers to clamp it up tight. Probably easier just to do it than sit here and explain it, so let me get to taping. Okay, taped in place, so I will very gingerly mark that from the top with a Sharpie. Then we'll drill it. So there's my two marks. So I will drill those and rinse and repeat 3 more times. So drill them in epoxy. Looks like it came out pretty good. There is nothing better than epoxy, that's for sure. So hopefully I can get these bolts off of here without finding out they've been epoxied as well. I think I'm good though. Okay, let's get some butyl tape and install the rear railing. Clean up some of this rust. What? I think somebody left a tool on there. That'd be me. I know better. So the next step in the process for the rear stern rail is good old butyl tape. I think I have to say I like butyl tape better than I do caulk, because it's not as messy. When it squishes out, I can go back with a razor knife and trim it off. Definitely like butyl tape. So, make sure we get it lined up just right and squish it. I did wipe the top, well, the foot, let's do it that way, the feet of the stanchions with acetone to make sure that there wasn't anything that would keep it from adhering. Even though, again, adhesion's not really what we're after. We're after the, let's call it the smush effect, where the butyl tape is smooshed down, and hopefully it helps level it out a little bit. Smushed down, smushed out, and then makes the surface waterproof. So, it's relatively inexpensive from hardware stores. I'm not really finding it at the box stores anymore. Now, I'm not saying it's not there, but be quite honest, anytime I get a chance to go to a small local hardware store, I go. It just is what it is. I think the corporations are getting enough money, but that's not what this channel's about, so I'm going to stop right there. Cool thing about butyl tape too is you can tear it, move it, smush it to where you need it. Okay, let's see. I'll do the other two, and then we're ready to put the stern rail on the back of the boat. Well, it's squished out. Squishy, squishy, squishy. So I'll take the razor knife and trim that. I want at least a 1/4 inch bolt on a rear deck rail. I mean, it shakes the whole boat. In fact, it bends up here when you move it before it bends down here or flexes there. So I think it's a really good installation. We'll see. I want to watch to make sure that the butyl tape sealed real well here, so that I don't get water running down and filling my lazarette full of water. So the backing plates worked really well. If I can get a picture of them without climbing into this freaking lazarette again, I'm going to try here. So yeah, that's the backing plate there. And the fender washers, and again, a 1/4 inch bolt. Machine screw. I wouldn't feel comfortable with anything smaller. I would have loved to see those flush down in. And I thought about using a 1/4 inch machine screw that had the flat head, but I don't think you're going to get a water seal. I think the water could actually come underneath the head and into the hole. So I don't know. We'll see. It's not a big deal to switch them out. So now it's time to clean all the nastiness up off my, well, what was a really shiny, pretty boat, and cut away the butyl tape. Okay, the butyl tape trimmed away, and need to do a little, cleaning there, but that's coming. So it kind of looks like a gasket. It levels out a little bit, front to back. So if not butyl tape, then neoprene. Believe it or not, there is a company in Huntington, West Virginia, near where I live, that manufactures neoprene sheets. So it's like squishy wetsuits. And I will be honest, I have raided their dumpster from time to time and used that for these type of gaskets. But you can't go wrong with butyl tape. At least I haven't so far. So we'll see. All right, we'll finish this up and go eat dinner. When you remove the butyl tape, use a nice sharp X-Acto knife blade. You can pull it away very easily, but you don't get that really pretty gasket look underneath where you're mounting something. So yeah, just trace around it. Keep the blade against it like that. And then cut it and make a beginning. See, I didn't cut it very well because I'm trying to hold the camera and do it, but it'll make a real pretty gasket and a clean job. If you just pull it away, see how it's leaving, looks like chewing gum, and that's not a neat looking job. So razor knife, and let me put the camera down and do it properly.